Well, we want to say good morning, Arizona. It's certainly a first alert weather day across Arizona for your Wednesday. Strong winter storm moving in early this morning, overnight, in fact, bringing intense winds to the valley and blizzard-like conditions to the high country.
Our team coverage is continuing right now at 9:30. We've got Gibby live at Sky Harbor Airport with a look at the delays and cancellations that are due to this weather. Gina is watching those roads closely. Major road closures up north. Ian tracking your photos and videos on social media.
But we want to begin with April because we've been talking about wind gusts, and it's hard to believe, of almost 90 miles an hour.
That's the top wind gust we saw this morning. That was up at sunrise. It's Sunset Point. That's what I'm trying to say. Sunset Point is where we saw that 88-mile-per-hour gust earlier this morning. And so we are continuing to see really gusty conditions all across the state right now. This is a look at Pinetop Lakeside. I pulled up this camera and it was looking nasty a couple of minutes ago. Now you really can't see a thing here. That is the 260. You can kind of see it. You can see this car going very slowly there through town. But look at the blowing snow, reducing visibility. Look at the trees here moving back and forth. I'm a little worried we're going to lose the connection with this camera here pretty quickly. Gina was telling me a lot of the cameras in the high country are out right now. The radar in the high country up in northern Arizona is not transmitting right now. This is the reason why. Incredibly strong winds. We've got 35-mile-per-hour winds right now out of the west-southwest in the Kingman area, 28-mile-per-hour winds at Flagstaff, and 30-mile-per-hour winds at Winslow. 32-mile-per-hour winds at Phoenix and 37-mile-per-hour winds at Gila Bend. Getting a little more concerned about blowing dust now that the rain has ended in the deserts of the state. Those are the current sustained winds. Again, we've had gusts upwards of 55, 56 miles per hour in the valley, and again, close to 80 or 90 in the high country. So what we're expecting for today on this first alert Wednesday, strong winds. Gusts could continue up to 60 miles per hour in the valley with a high wind warning in effect for many areas. A winter storm warning continues in the mountains today, 6 to 12 inches above 6,000 feet. I think Flagstaff's going to be closer to maybe 4 to maybe 6, 7 inches, and strong winds with blizzard conditions. So Gina, obviously we're saying, you know, travel is discouraged today. You can't travel in many areas because the roads are closed, but even where they are open, I mean, just stay home. This is a dangerous situation.
Well, this is one of the few cameras that is working. That's the Heber Overguard area, and you can understand why they shut down the 260. Not to mention that stretch between Payson and Heber is pretty steep. So trying to drive it with this, no, thank you. Not to mention there's that cliff as well. So let's, you know, I tell you what, I'm going to meet everybody over at the Chroma Key, and I want to, let's go ahead and take this full, and then let's map out exactly where the closure is along the 260. So just to the east of Payson, all the way up to the Heber Overguard area. That's going to be about a 50-mile stretch that is closed. ADOT and DPS making the decision to close that about an hour ago now. And then the 260 to the east of Pinetop is also closed, so you can't even get to Sunrise, even with all that snow that's there. Let's take you to the I-40 on the east side of Flagstaff, and you can see conditions actually are better than they were just an hour ago. You can actually see the road now, but you can see nobody's out on the roadway because we've got pretty much a 300-mile stretch of the I-40 that is shut down, which is really remarkable when you think about the implications to commerce and truckers who cannot get through this area and cut across our country here on the I-40. It's closed from the US 93 all the way over to the New Mexico border, but that's not all. Look at all the closures we've got. So we just told you about the 260 between Payson and Heber Overguard. It is also closed here between Camp Verde and Strawberry Pine, and then the B-line, the 87 is closed between Payson and Winslow. The I-17 is also shut down according to ADOT between the 179, which is the turnoff for Sedona, up to Flagstaff. 89A also closed between Flagstaff and Sedona, and then the 180 is shut down north of Flagstaff. I do want to mention that closure there is north of Snowbowl. That's what travel looks like on the roadway, or we should say the lack of travel on the roadway. But this weather also affecting travel in the air. So let's talk about Sky Harbor, and that's exactly where Gibby is as he continues our first alert weather day coverage. Gibby, good morning.
Good morning, Gina. Yeah, you know, April really nailed it on the head. You know, these gusts, they don't sustain for a long period of time, but when they do come, boy, do they hit hard. As a matter of fact, out here at Sky Harbor, I'm atop Terminal 4 out here, and the FAA had sent out a message saying that not only the weather here in the valley, but weather across the country was going to affect flights. And in the last hour, I mentioned there was 28. Now I just got the update thanks to Bobby Joe. She's saying 34 flights canceled total out here at Sky Harbor, not to mention several delays. As a matter of fact, the delays up to 44-minute delays is what you can expect. So if you're getting ready to leave or you're getting ready to fly today, make sure you check with your airline, check the information. That way you're up to date on your airline. So Scott and Olivia, it's one thing to be on the ground. It's the other thing to be up on top of a garage like this when you start to feel that wind and how the wind really starts to pick up when it does. And boy, it can really move you. So I feel bad for some of these guys who are working, trying to get those bags back onto the planes and off the planes because they're having to deal with some high winds out here this week.
Yeah, flying in those winds, not a lot of fun.
No part of it is going to be too much fun. Gibby, thank you so much.
Also, right now, several schools have been canceled. The class, we're talking about the schools up north. Take a look at your screen here in the Flagstaff area alone. The Flagstaff Unified School District is calling for a snow day. So is Northern Arizona University, Coconino Community College. And for the full list of closures and delays, all you have to do is go over to our website, azfamily.com.
And this morning, so many of you are at home or taking to social media to share what's going on at your house. So Ian, he's always watching you. You know that, right?
Don't make it sound creepy. Yes, the viewers have been sending crazy videos. It's so funny. The people up in the mountain, they say, okay, we went outside. I got the video for you. I'm going back inside.
Yeah, exactly.
I did my job. And that's Sharon's one of them. She says this is Prescott National Forest, Groom Creek, 6,800 feet, wind gusts above 45 miles per hour. Let me expand that for you. And it's coming in sideways. That is not a pleasant snow. It's not like those Thomas Kincaid paintings that are very, peaceful and whatnot. I call this the Shining type of snow. Very troublesome. A little closer to home, this is in Tempe. This is Maureen Kaufman. Oh, I hate to see this. Look at her beautiful tree snapped in half. She probably loved that tree, and unfortunately, that tree is a goner. Not the hogs.
Oh,
look at this. The motorcycle blew over. Denise posted this up in Camp Verde. Looks like the nicer one, though, is intact.
Okay.
So not a complete loss. And then this one is going to be from Monica, and she said, every window and door is iced over. Luckily, I can see blue. Let me see. It's covered up here. What does she say? Blue skies and something. I don't know what she was trying to say. But look at that. You got all the snow covering the window. Pretty wild storm. This one definitely will be memorable for a bit as far as the wind.
No doubt.
We don't see near 90-mile-per-hour gusts often around here.
So she's not playing the song "I Can See Clearly" now.
No. Maybe in a couple days.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
Thanks,
Ian, thank
Ian.
you.
And thanks to everybody who shares those with us. Remember to download our First Alert weather app. We'll be sending alerts straight to your smartphone with updates on what's happening across the state and specifically in your neighborhood.